Hello, and welcome back to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, the podcast where Matt and Todd go see a movie at our local Regal Cinema theaters and then talk about it from the car right after the movie. It is a cold December evening, and I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy, and I'll agree with you that it is cold here in the car after seeing the movie. Welcome, and this episode we are reviewing the movie we just saw, which is called Dark Waters. This movie is about a lawyer who works for a big law firm who gets kind of pulled back through a series of events to his hometown in a way, town of origin. His grandmother still lives there, Parkersburg, West Virginia, and ends up finding out from various people in the town that something funny is going on with their water supply, and it's affecting livestock at first is what they find. And anyway, throughout the movie, he ends up getting pitted against a very large chemical company called DuPont. And this is about legal wrangling and all of the sort of trials and tribulations of this lawyer going through, and what he deals with his family as they're kind of supporting him on this journey of over years and years of kind of battling different aspects of this case. So that's the setup for you.
Well done.
Todd, what did you think?
Well, Matt, if you want to go see a movie and feel absolutely depressed afterwards and hate humanity, then this is the movie for you. There are a lot of good things to say about this movie as far as a movie goes. It is well acted, I feel. The story is engaging. This is one of those movies where it's based off of a true story. You don't know how much is played up for a movie versus what really happened. Certainly they do try to use actual articles and actual TV spots and stuff in the movie to kind of carry the story that this, a lot of this actually happened and stuff like that. And it's certainly not something that you watch and be like, well, that's not going to be true, because it just follows suit with so many stories and new movies nowadays of how corporations are evil, and there's a lot of evil in the world, and you as the little person just get screwed over. So, it's weird to say good things about this movie because I'm in a very bad attitude right now. The movie put me in. So, it's by the guys who did The Big Short, which was the banking, homes, mortgages thing, the housing bubble. What is that called?
Yeah. Housing bubble
that burst or whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of. It's kind of. I don't want to go into too much of the story. It's just. It just follows suit with a lot of things you see nowadays of kind of people doing bad, and there are good people in the world who are trying to shine light on it, but to be good in the world and to do what seems to be the right thing is always an uphill battle. So, it does a good job of telling a story. I feel like you are carried through this very confusing story of chemicals being dumped in a bad way from the DuPont company, and how it affected town and livestock and stuff like that, and almost reminiscent of kind of like a 2019 Aaron Brockovich.
That's so funny that you would say that. That was going to be part of my my feelings on the movie.
Yeah, it is. It is like that. I hope that I have read, and I was confused on whether or not I was going to talk about it or not. But here we are. I've read some articles about how the Aaron Brockovich movie was very false in a lot of areas, which kind of crushed me a little bit as far as like, not that I love that movie, but when you watch that movie, it kind of makes it seem like the good guys won and the evil corporation paid. And then I've read some articles about Erin Brockovich that say that like she's somewhat misrepresented, and then also that a lot of those townspeople didn't get their money, and she's the one that blocked them from their money, so that her and her firm could get more money. But anyway, that's not about Dark Waters. So let's get back to Dark Waters. I think it is a well-crafted movie. Very good storytelling, very good acting. Mark Ruffalo does... I don't know anything about the real-life guy he played, but I think he played a guy who... at the beginning of the movie, he's very lost, it seems like. He's very successful at his job, but doesn't have... like, he just seems like he is kind of lost with where he is in life or whatever, and kind of gets drawn into this cause and then fully embodies the cause. Anne Hathaway plays his wife. I think she does a really good job of portraying the stress that can have on a marriage, and especially when you have kids and you're raising kids, when someone's devoting so much of their time to something, even if it's a good something, but kind of neglecting marriage duties and stuff. So Tim Robbins plays Mark Ruffalo's boss. I thought he did a good job. I mean, there's just good jobs all around here. So as a movie as a whole, I think it's a well-crafted movie. It certainly isn't like... it's not anything new, in my opinion. We see these movies a lot nowadays, and I guess movies have kind of become a median of how to get stories like this out there. Like, you can make a documentary, but who knows how many people will actually see that documentary. But if you do a wide release, there's a good chance that people will see this. So I hope, besides making money, maybe they decided to make this movie because they wanted to get this story out there. So yeah, I am depressed and I'm sad, but the movie was good.
All right.
I don't know if you can follow that, Matt. I was kind of all over the place there.
It's okay. We're here to share our immediate feelings. So like I interrupted you with, Erin Brockovich is a pretty good comp to this. Now, I say that I've never seen Erin Brockovich.
Yeah.
But Erin Brockovich was a big enough movie when it came out that I feel like I understand what happened in that movie and sort of the plot of the movie. And I feel like it's very comparable to what happens in this movie. This was a slow-moving legal story.
Yeah.
And it was engaging at points for me, but at other points it was really slow moving.
Yeah.
As you're there, the movie puts up kind of overlays as the years go by of like what year it is, and I found myself happy at one point when they put up like 2007, and then it quickly changed to 2008, 2009, 2010. Yeah. I was like, okay, we're making some progress. We're getting through this. So I felt like it was a little slow at points. The story is interesting. They do a good job of laying out, you touched on this too, Todd, we're talking about chemicals and like dumping and how many parts per million in water are bad. Sure. They did a good job of sort of laying that out there and making it pretty easy to digest. As they went through. Agree on the acting. They had a few big name players in here, and everybody did their job as far as portraying their characters. And so overall, how did I feel about the movie? I think you've got to sort of know what you're getting into. This is an environmental, legal wrangling battle.
Right.
So if you're ready for that, I think you could really enjoy the movie. I think that's sort of how they play it out in previews and things like that.
Right.
So I won't say I was unprepared for it. So did I like it? It didn't make me feel great like you, Todd. But I thought it was maybe a well-made movie. So if I can sort of divide that line a little bit.
It's hard to disconnect those two.
And like, say...
Because you want to walk out of the theater feeling good.
Yes.
And, not to really give anything away, but and I don't think you can watch a movie like this, no matter how it ends or what the story ended, whatever, and feel good.
Right. Yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Something you said, I do want to say this, and I don't know if I'm giving too much credit to the movie, but as you were talking about the story and how it kind of dragged on at times, I 100% agree that does happen. I did feel that too. My takeaway from that, and I could be creating this in my mind or I'm giving too much credit, but to me it felt like almost purposeful because it's mirroring how the case went. That's an etchy area of art versus reality and art reflecting reality or whatever, but so I could just be creating that, but at time when I walked away from the movie, that's kind of how I felt. I was like, this really dragged, but I was like, oh, so does the case, and that's kind of part of the point of the movie. Was just something that popped in my head.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
So, yeah, a tough one. There was no Julia Roberts using her breasts to find secret papers hijinks that was in Erin Brockovich. So,
I don't know anything about that, Todd, because I haven't seen the movie.
Now you know that does happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So, how many cancerous cows would you give this movie?
Good one. So I'm going to give this movie 3 cancerous cows. Just because of the dragging on.
Sure.
And the way I felt at the end. We're sort of about feelings on this podcast, and
yeah,
my feeling was, nah.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
It was like, I saw something, I followed the story, I liked the story, I liked the acting, but at the end of the day, would I watch that movie again? No, I'm not going to watch it.
Sure.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Am I happy that I did it once? Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
But
yeah.
So you get 3. It was an above average film from a craftsman standpoint, but you lose some points with me for not making me like where I am right now.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in a similar boat. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. I should have done parts per million.
Oh, well.
3.5.
Lost opportunity.
Yeah, 3.5 cancerous cows.
Cancerous cows for the win.
Yeah, I think, it just kind of, like I said, these movies come out a lot nowadays as far as based on a true story. We're kind of uncovering stuff. I think it can get lost in Hollywood. I don't know if they make these kind of movies because they think they're going to sell well or they really do want this story to get out there. It's kind of hard. But I do think sometimes when I walk out of a movie and I'm like, ugh, not that it was bad, but I'm like, I don't feel good with myself. I don't feel good with humanity. That there's no law written says that I have to walk out of a movie and feel fantastic.
It's true.
maybe it's humbling to be put in your place sometimes or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm saying 3.5. I think I'll go ahead and say that I think everyone should see this movie. I think why not see it, learn something, and kind of decide on whether or not how you want that to affect your life. It certainly was well put together. So, yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I think even coming out of Joker, we were not this kind of we were upset because we didn't like Joker, but right. As far as just feeling down in the dumps, getting my Eeyore on over here, feeling.
Well, and I think that maybe is because it was a true story.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah.
Unlike Joker, where you can sort of dismiss it and say, we didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
But
it's also one of those things, and I don't know if this is just me, but it's one of those things where it's all this stuff is brought to life, but they also show in the movie that this stuff was brought up several times, in pop culture and stuff like that, and I still had no idea, of any of this, and I'm I'm just not as in touch with reality as I think I am, as far as, when they were showing all like that this story of DuPont was all over like 2020 and like Barbara Walters did a thing and Anderson Cooper did it, like doesn't like that this is a story that is not hidden, it is out there, and I've never heard of it before, or like I'm like
I think if it happened today, you would be aware of it. I think
that's
maybe
true. Technology
that's more of an age thing. It's
Sure.
like, because I remember it.
Oh
and,
yeah, okay.
And it being a thing of like, oh, Teflon might be bad for us to like drink it or whatever.
Gotcha.
But no biggie. It's okay, Todd.
Anything I can do to try to make myself feel better.
Yeah. Well, I think we've rambled on long enough. Thanks for listening in for this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies. Grab us wherever you can find podcasts, and tune in next time for another episode with another review.
Maybe a more happy one.
Hopefully.
But no guarantees.
Right.
Da 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 da.